People that have done it would understand it, and you take on what they say, obviously, with a grain of salt, because obviously you've got to go through it yourself. But opening a gym, there's a lot going on at any given moment. I think that's just business ownership at the end of the day. You're wearing multiple hats all the time, right? Like, you're dealing with tours, you've got sales, you've got leads, you've got marketing elements, obviously you've got programming, you're coaching, cleaning, then you've got to try to actually look after yourself in and amongst all that, because it's always something to do, it doesn't stop. Principle, if we take it a step back, like, I was looking for a business name to try to separate my personal brand or my personal name to what I deliver and what I have as a company, right? And to me, I think the separation is really, really important, especially if you do want to have something bigger than just, you know, a one place or yourself involved in something. So Mia and I were scratching our heads for like literally weeks, months, and then I was reading Ray Dalio's Principles, and it was literally right there. I was like, Principles, that's actually like a really good name. And like by means, like, we went through hundreds of names, because obviously the other thing when it comes to finding a name and brand is you got to have the name, it's got to be available, domain, social channels, like all that sort of stuff. And fortunately it was. We had and we have a hypothesis that we want to prove or disprove, right? And we've done a lot of modeling, we've done a lot of research, we've done a lot of background. It wasn't just like something it's like we just turn around one day and we're like, cool, we're gonna do it like this. It was months and months and months of planning, of reiterating the model, changing things around, trying different, I guess, ways of doing it. And we landed on something we feel very comfortable and confident in. We think this particular type of training, the market, the niche is still going to be growing, and it kind of serves at all different points. We've got our youth athlete, we've got that middle-aged athlete, that semi-pro, trying to push an academy, make a rep team, whatever else, go professional. But then the market that is pretty untouched and untapped is like the other end of it. So we call it the forever athlete, but the person that, you know, they might be 35, 40, whatever it is, the age is really not that big of a, I guess, piece of the avatar. But that person that just wants to train really well, have access to really good equipment, have access to really good coaches, know that what they're doing is pushing them in the right direction. That was the other end of the market that we see is really fruitful. So we want to try to play either ends of that, and yeah, that's ultimately how we land on the model. Actually drive some intent. Hands on hips, I'll count you into them nice and still. Ready, still, 3, 2, 1, go. One of the hardest things to do for us is we're a niche within a niche. So whilst, you know, most people watching this know what S&C is and know the value of it, the average person does not. So we had to iterate and iterate and iterate and iterate, and we're going to again, because our messaging wasn't clear enough from the start to the consumer. So what we did is we kind of put ourselves on the back foot a little bit because of that. So we had to strip that right back, and ultimately it's like, okay, what do people understand? And it's the typical big things. It's speed, strength, and power. It's those simple terms and things they understand that they see or hear on watching, you know, the NRL on the weekend or the AFL. They hear these terms that the commentators say. That's what they're familiar with. So it was actually that, like, just really stripping everything right back, making our messaging super clear and simple so that the average consumer would understand. To me, brand is everything. Without brand, you have nothing. You know, sales are a short-term thing that will obviously get you from point A to point B, and they're a massive requirement. But without brand, that's essentially, like, to me, the lifeblood of the business. And brand it shows up in everything that you do, and it is either conscious or subconscious, from the way that someone feels when they walk into the space, to the way that the logo might have 3 or 4 different variations, to what they actually see, through to how people just feel about when someone mentions the name of the brand or the company. Like, those to me are so important. And brand isn't built overnight. Brand is something that's built over a long period of time. Whilst this is where we are currently and what we stand for, I do think that we also have the permission to change over time, and that's okay. So they're the things you got to think about, right? The first hire needs to essentially be like an extension of you, someone you want to spend 12 hours a day with, because realistically, if there's only a couple of you, like, you're going to spend the most time of your life with that person. So the way that we hired was we simply advertised through through social media. We went a bit of a different route. And this is kind of like if we go back to brand, having a really strong presence online. We had so many applicants that were amazing. We had 142 applicants that applied. I nearly fell off my chair. I didn't know how to actually deal with it. So we sent through like a programming task, and ultimately that was a long task to do. And it was like 60 people then sent that back through. And it was like, how are we gonna interview 60 people? So then like we went through and we cut it again. And out of the 15 people we interviewed, genuinely could have hired 14. Like, it was really, really hard. What we're gonna quickly do is jump on Lumen. I've been so fortunate to be affiliated with some really strong brands and partners involved in this space, but then also personally. These people, these companies that we and I personally align with, like they would be who I would use at a drop of a hat. They're people that I refer to, they're people that I relate to, they're people that are doing amazing things with the industry as well. So like, honestly, it's a no-brainer, whether it's the guys from Vold, the guys from Compound that did the fit out, through to Lumen as well. Like, the big thing that we look at, and the thing that especially Lumen embodies, is that growth aspect. So like, you look a year ago at what the company was, and we're talking about strength and the new platform through to where it's gotten today. That's something that we want to embody, that growth aspect, that growth mindset, the fact that we're never settling, we're taking our customers' feedback on board, whether you're paying for it, whether it's a contra deal, whether it's whatever it is. I think with partners, it's like, as long as you feel like you can provide them value and they can provide you value back, it's a win-win. Don't move through your back. So unlock the knees again. My advice to anyone wanting to get into it is understand why you want to get into it, right? Like, for me to sit here and tell someone this is the way to do it, I don't believe that's the right way to do it. I really think that you'll find that journey and that way you want to go about it yourself. If you're in the private space, in the private S&C in particular, there's so much call it skill sets and knowledge you need that's more traditional in and around coaching, and there's so much other skill sets you need to develop outside of that. And you kind of have to be a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none at times, and sometimes that can be quite daunting because you're not a purist, you're not someone that really knows everything to such a deep level, but you're someone that can attract clients, maintain business, make people feel really special, provide a really good service. Like, they're the things that matter, not the opinions of other people, within the industry. Like, what matters to you is how you make people feel in the community that you make. And so you should always be trying to help them, make sure you're happy with yourself rather than worrying about what other people are doing.